1792. It says, whoever scores the highest votes shall be deemed to have been elected.
As at that time,
yes,
where the election was declared inconclusive, it is because you cannot read out of context what is the glaring provision of the Constitution, which says that where the Electoral Act specifically, that where the two highest or leading candidates in an election, and then a certain pools were nullified or cancelled, that the number in between those two must exceed the number of the vote cancelled. That is where the returning officer relied upon, and upon the objection of PDP representative during the election. Now, if election is inconclusive, using the word inconclusiveness, can you say that a particular person, in absence of those places where the polls were cancelled, or where the polls never, where there was no election at all, you cannot conveniently say he has won the election at that point? So the problem there is that the votes casted on Saturday was meant for two people, because it's a joint ticket, which some of us are saying, if you are saying that it's a joint ticket, jointly and severally, then you cannot go back again to bring a fresh candidate to contest a supplementary election. If you are saying you want to do a supplementary election, the only option for you is, you say, since it's a joint ticket, fine, Feleke, you go over, and then after which you can bring your running mate and your deputy, and then it can be rectified.
But he'll tell you that Feleke didn't go through the primaries.
You can't do that. Exactly. Nelson is almost a lawyer. It can't be done.
That's where...
Read section 87.
Listen. That's where I am saying that there is a lacuna, because it was not expressly provided for. And that's one of the reasons why most of us are saying that the only option is to cancel the entire election.
And do a fresh election.
When somebody has already scored the highest number of votes,
where is that somebody?
Would the death of a candidate in an election nullify an election? Is that what you are saying?
Yes.
How do you legislate that?
Fine. It is very clear, because if you look at the clearing provisions of Section 36, it never envisaged that another person would take the position of the person that that had the highest vote. There is nothing like that. Even from the Constitution.
Section 181 already does that.
The word there. Section 36 is Section 36 of the Act is what is clear over that. That is the opposite provision. Section 33, you can equal. You cannot equally read
Audu was alive when the election commenced.
You cannot equally read Section 33 without incorporating Section 32 of the Electoral Act.
Section 33 is completely relevant.
So it's
the Attorney General that brought that into play. It's not relevant in this discussion.
It's a general provision.
The only point we are making, sir, is that Section 36 is relevant only insofar as it specifically provides for what should happen if a candidate dies before election starts. But as long as everybody accepts that Audu was alive when the election commenced, 36 is irrelevant. What is relevant for the purpose of this discussion is a community reading, to borrow that from the Attorney General, of Section 1792 of the Constitution and Section 181 of the Constitution, together with Section 69 of the Act. Section 1792 says, once you have an election, whoever scores the highest number of votes, quote and unquote, shall be deemed.
Section 1.
That's the Supreme Law.
So that we don't. No, you have the Constitution.
179.
You can even read it. Read Section 181.
No, you must read 1792 first.
Read it.
Okay, this is Section 181. If a person duly elected as governor dies before taking duly elected as governor dies before taking and subscribing the oath of allegiance, oath of office, blah blah blah.
So how is it relevant to election that is inconclusive?
Hold on. No, what does Section 1792 say?
Hold on. Let him finish.
It is relevant because
finish Section 1792.
1792 says a candidate for an election to the office of governor of a state, quote and unquote, shall be deemed to have been duly elected, where there have been two or more candidates. A, he has the highest number of votes, and B, he has 25% in 2/3 of local government areas. Audu has more or less fulfilled this 1792.
No,
Has it
you're
declared?
doing a community reading.
Yes.
So don't
Has it been so
finish
declared?
it. Where is the third one?
The third one is section 69 of the Act,
Which says?
which talks about how you determine a winner at an election. It says once election is over, you count the votes. Whoever has the highest number of votes shall be declared winner.
Are you saying
No,
that
sir, do you know what's
the election,
relevant here?
somebody has been declared as a winner? Looking at the wordings
After December 5,
nobody has been declared.
after December 5,
Nobody has been declared.
Audu is going to be declared the winner.
How do we declare
death.
the winner?
Oh, yes. He has done all that he can do,
Wait, but he's dead.
but he's the one that they voted for.
So
Please,
are you saying
we are
that?
talking about constitutional matter. We're not talking about estate matter. Where you begin to.
This
talk
is the
about
Constitution of
estate
Federal Republic of Nigeria. That's what it says.
If you read and you continue to read, you see that the operative was there.
As we stand here today, who has
The
the
stage under the Constitution is not a dead person.
Okay,
as we
all right,
stand here
gentlemen.
today,
The stage under the Constitution
Wait,
is
wait,
not
as we
a dead
stand
person.
here
We'll have to go on a
today,
quick
who has
break.
the highest number of votes?
Okay, all right, one
That's
second.
a simple question.
We'll have to go on a quick break.
Was it a concluded election?
No, it was not
Who
concluded.
is leading?
All right, we'll be back.
Somebody's in the
Just
lead.
hold on, just hold on, just hold on. We'll have to go on a quick break. We'll come back to finish this conversation. But just before we go, let's see if we can do this quick 2 tweets. KMRS 400 says, what if a fresh election is conducted after the primaries of the APC to save costs of going to court again? Kelvin Morris, that's him. Again, Sakra Bassi says, INEC is putting Kogi in this quagmire. They would have gone ahead to announce the results than rendering the election inconclusive. One more, Charles says, the AGF ought to be reminded that he is not a legal counsel to CPC nor APC, but to the whole Nigerian populace. We'll take a moment and we'll be back. Don't go away. Welcome back. We see plenty of tweets here. I did says, please, what happens to his vice? Fallen. Emmanuel Doka says, since APC is to conduct fresh primaries, then a fresh election should be conducted by INEC in Kogi. Aliyu Shoaib says, the lawyers are all confused. Is it the interpretation that is confusing them or what? I think they need political scientists here. Tunde says, what section of the law of the land empowers INEC to exercise doctrine of necessity? And Insight Nigeria says, the decision of INEC as directed by the AGF is not known by our laws and will not be sustained in court. PDP has a good case. Kursi Shimfe says, how can APC James Faleke be registered to vote in Lagos and Kogi? What is the legal implication? Kindly educate us. I don't understand. APC's James Faleke, was he registered in
He's
Lagos?
representing Lagos in the House of Representatives.
Okay. And he's running for elections
That's
in Kogi.
Nigeria for you.
That is a serious constitutional matter because it's very clear. It's even taken care of under the Electoral Act.
All right, let's come back to the Kogi election, even though this is all part of the Kogi elections. Yes, you're going to say something.
I am talking about the fact, my view, which I will hold on to, is that there is no lacuna. The Constitution has already provided for how you determine the winner of a governorship election. My point is, insofar as the critical point is the commencement of the election, once the election starts, it has commenced, you are not allowed to die.
So in your opinion right now is INEC can go ahead with the supplementary?
Yes, but you and I know it's not going to affect the outcome of the elections because it's already out there
When you
that
say
the
you and
permanent
I-
voter cards.
When you say you and I,
We are hearing that about 25,000 permanent voter cards that are in issue. And you have a gap that is in excess of 25,000. As of today, from what INEC declared before we heard about the death of Audu, Audu is the one leading. It's going to be difficult for you, after December 5, to announce another person as a winner. That will contravene Section 179(2). That's the point I'm trying to make. He says we are talking estate law.
I said that we are talking about constitutional issues. We are not talking about estate.
What does the Constitution say?
Let me make my point clear. When we are talking,
Is it part of,
you
is it
you
part
saw
of the
me, I listened.
Constitution?
Okay, let's
Is
go.
it part of the Constitution?
So there is no place in